and welcome to Urban Botanical. Alocasias and Philodendrons seem to strike fear into the hearts of many plant lovers, as they do have a reputation for being difficult to keep. I've lost count of the number of social media threads I've read where people say they love the look of the plants but put them back on the shelf as soon as they see what they are. There are a few simple rules to follow for success with these beautiful plants, and once you master them you'll wonder what all the fuss is about. In this video I'll do my best to show you what has worked for me. First of all, the biggest stumbling block for new owners is the way these plants are potted up when you buy them. The nursery that raised your new plant has one overriding priority: to raise healthy plants as quickly and cheaply as possible for sale. This means they will often use a peaty grown medium full of nutrients packed inside a plastic nursery pot. This is fine with expert care and tropical heat environment with plenty of airflow and sunshine, but once the plants leave the nursery, this usually starts to work against the plant's health, causing root rot and the plant's eventual death. I want to be clear here, this is not the fault of the nursery that raised the plant. Once the plants leave their care, it's the owner's responsibility to take care of the plant, not theirs. Problems can start at the retailers if the plant is on stock for a few weeks, depending on the knowledge and the skill of the staff taking care of them. But one thing is almost certain: if left in nursery pots in the nursery potting medium when you get them home, the lack of light and airflow will mean that the plant's roots will soon be subject to a damp condition, and root problems will soon begin to manifest themselves, leading ultimately to the plant's demise. I recommend that when you get the plant home, remove it carefully from the pot and check the roots for water damage. If it's okay and no rot is present, slide it back into the pot and place it in its new location for 1 to 2 weeks to adjust to the new living conditions, then repot it. The problem with the nursery potting media is that it tends to retain moisture, and in the home environment this can stay wet for weeks after watering, which stops roots from getting access to air. Also, the plastic nursery pots inhibit gas exchange even further. Together, these conditions are perfect for root rot to take hold. It doesn't matter how careful you are with the watering, it is way too easy for these conditions to present themselves. So you need to make some adjustments to the plant's potting situation to at the very least vastly reduce the possibility of these issues presenting themselves. My recommendation is this, and this has always worked well for me. For repotting, use a traditional terracotta plant pot. Terracotta is porous, so it assists with gas exchange and also wicks away excess moisture from the potting medium and allows the moisture to evaporate from its external surfaces, enhancing humidity around the plant. They are not expensive, and I think they give your plant display a classic look. They patronise as they age and look better the older they get. Most importantly, take the time to source a new potting medium, especially formulated for the species of plant you have. There are several specialist suppliers that can cater for your needs and the needs of your plant. My preference is for the Philodendron medium and Alocasia medium from Soil Ninja. I'm not saying that this brand is the best, but I've had great results from their products, and I've found that they have a great range of other products I find useful, and it's so easy being able to order from one source. Prices are competitive and I usually receive my order the next day. The service is brilliant. Just one word of caution: when ordering, opt for DPD delivery rather than FedEx. When offered the option, DPD costs a little extra, but FedEx can be very unreliable, but it's up to you. Chances are when you open these potting mixes they will appear very different from any potting compost you have used before. That's because they are. They are designed to provide enough moisture for healthy plant growth while avoiding waterlogging. They are very free draining and are designed to provide plenty of air gaps to allow the roots to breathe, which helps to avoid rotting. This also promotes the growth of beneficial bacteria essential for plant health. The philodendron mix is also suitable for monstera species, and to be honest, the alocasia mix has a very similar content. I have occasionally used the philodendron mix for alocasia without any ill effects, but it's probably best to stick to the specific product for your plant. The main ingredients are charcoal, zeolite, pumice grains, worm castings for plant nutrition, cocoa coir, bark, and perlite for the philodendron mix. These are a bit more expensive than a standard houseplant compost, but these are not the run-of-the-mill standard houseplants, and the ingredients are premium components, not a cheap blend of peat and compost. It's a false economy to buy a cheap medium that is not suitable for these specialist plants and will, in long term, probably lead to the death of the plant. I'll leave a link to the Soil Ninja's website, but I would like to point out that this is not a sponsored video. I paid full price for all the products I'm using, and Soil Ninja are not aware that I'm using their products in this video. Right, let's get potting. First of all, terracotta pots tend to have one quite large drainage hole in the bottom. A loose potting mix can fall through, so you need to obstruct the drainage hole to stop the mix or the base layer falling through while still allowing free drainage. You can use a pebble for this or a piece of broken plant pot. I'm just using this 20mm piece of gravel. The base layer or false bottom is optional but advisable. For this you can use gravel, pebbles or anything similar. A layer of about an inch in the bottom of the pot improves drainage and offers a sort of safety net for plant roots. In the event that the tray or saucer underneath the plant pot fills with water, this ensures that it is not in direct contact with the soil, which can then become waterlogged and lead to root rot. I'm using these man-made clay pebbles for use in reptile terrariums. These are similar to leaker. They retain moisture but also allow free air movement to the soil. An added benefit is that they promote the growth of beneficial bacteria, essential for healthy plant growth. Once you have put in your base layer, it's time to add some soil, about 2 to 3 inches. To this layer you can add a slow release fertiliser. If you do, mix it in well into this layer so as the roots grow, they can grow down into it. This is to ensure at this stage that the fertiliser doesn't touch the roots, as it may burn them. It should take the roots a few weeks to grow down into this layer, by which time the fertiliser will have started to break down and its nutrients will have been released into the surrounding soil. Just a note here, I've chosen these long tom pots to give the plants a little more height for display purposes. A standard short pot would have been fine. Next, take your plant from its nursery pot. It's best not to do this if the nursery soil is still very wet. A wooden pick or chopstick can help with this part. Carefully remove as much soil as you reasonably can, as you see me doing here. Dry to slightly moist is best for easy removal of the old soil. The first philodendron that I'm going to repot is the Prince of Orange. There is a new leaf coming on this plant, but unfortunately it was damaged in transit, so I'm not sure if it will open. There is a difference of opinion about whether to remove soil from the roots when repotting or not. The aim here is to get it out of a substandard soil mix and into an optimal soil, so I prefer to remove as much as I possibly can without stressing the roots too much. The soil mix used on all these plants is actually better than I often see with these species, but is still very water retentive. When you judge you have removed enough filled soil off the plant up to the pot to gauge the height you want it at. Add more of the new mix so it's just below where you would like the lower roots to sit. Then holding the plant at the chosen level, gently add new soil into the pot so that it surrounds the roots and eventually is able to support the plant. Then as the pot fills, you can gently firm the new soil in with your fingers. It is important to only gently firm it in. Do not pack it in too firmly or air circulation will be compromised. Tap the pot and or gently shake it to make sure that the new mix thoroughly sets in around the roots. We have now repotted the philodendron. The new mix will need to be activated and moistened with a thorough watering. Do not use tap water. Lime and chemicals used to kill off bacteria in tap water will harm or maybe even kill the plants. Use collected rainwater if possible. Otherwise, use distilled water or reverse osmosis water. Distilled water can be purchased from supermarkets or motorist shops, or you can get reverse osmosis water from aquatic stores that supply marine aquarists. The tree bark and the core will retain enough moisture for the roots to utilise for at least a week. Water thoroughly. As you can see, with this mix the water practically runs straight through. Leave the pot to drain excess water for at least 30 minutes before taking the plant indoors to its new home. Repotting for the alocasias is exactly the same procedure, except of course we are using the alocasia potting mix. This red secret is a very unusual looking plant with metallic copper coloured leaves featuring dark green veins. This plant responded really well to repotting and in just over a week has rewarded me with 2 brand new leaves, with the third well on the way. It's growing like mad. Likewise, the Alocasia poly quickly produced 1 new leaf and is looking very healthy. One thing I should mention is that the electronic probe type moisture meters do not work well with these planting mediums because they are so airy. Use your finger to test the moisture levels on these mediums by pushing it into the soil. Do not re-water until the top inch depth of soil feels dry. I hope you've enjoyed this video and perhaps the information has been of some use to you. If it has, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so YouTube can alert you whenever I upload a new video. Next week I hope you can join me building closed, low cost, low maintenance terrarium. See you soon!